Welcome to Kathryn Raaker's World. Innovation, culture, adventure, fashion and health, artists, destinations, traditions. This is Kathryn Raaker's World.
Hi, this is Kathryn Raaker of Kathryn Raaker's World. Our guest today is Dr. Janice Hollis of Hollis Media, and we are doing a second program on our Kathryn Raaker's World of the series. And on Let's Just Talk, it's the first time she's been on our show. So welcome to our show again.
Thank you.
I can't wait to come to Philadelphia, Janice.
Listen, we have some things planned for you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But you know what my favorite sandwich is?
A cheesesteak.
A Philly cheesesteak.
Well,
you have to say that. Philly cheesesteak.
A Philly's cheesesteak.
Philly cheesesteak.
Okay.
When I first came to Philadelphia and to New Jersey, I couldn't believe I loved them. I haven't been able to stop loving them. I only have them every once in a while.
Okay.
I'm trying to lose weight, so it's not an easy way to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, on some of our shows, you talked about being in the publishing end, being in the film end, being in the production end, but you're also a psychologist.
Yeah.
Now, where does that play into the situation?
Every client is a patient.
It is?
Really.
That's true.
Pretty much.
Right.
Really, pretty much. For me, I realized early on I was being burnt out as a psychologist, and I knew I had to have something else that spoke to me as a person, which has always been media, be it in singing or in plays, but it had to do something with being creative that I knew I needed to venture back into. So early on, I got some opportunities. I can't say I woke up one morning and decided, oh, I'm going to do this. I always knew I wanted to do certain things, but it always came about because there was a problem needing to be solved, and my name was dropped.
Your name was dropped.
Yeah.
And what relationship do you mean by that?
When I say my name was dropped, if you needed somebody to fix something, because I knew
you were
a lot
a fixer.
I'm a fixer.
Fixer. That sounds good. So, what was your, now that I found out that you were a singer, what was the first gig you had?
Oh my goodness. Working in, well, on a major scale, working in Philadelphia, I had a chance to work with some of the girls from the Sledges, Sister Sledge. Not the whole group, just some of the sisters that were doing certain things, because their road manager became my manager at one time, her Watson. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What did that feel like?
It was magical, but I knew that was a small part. I knew that.
Right.
But it was a great part because I was never meant to, well, in my mind, I never thought I was going to go to Philadelphia.
Right.
So I was happy about that.
Because you were originally from Savannah, Georgia, then
Yeah.
when you moved to Florida, and then you moved to Philadelphia.
Right, but I had talked this gentleman into giving me a job in Minnesota. All right, remember I told you.
Yeah, but you never went, did you?
But I never went.
Did you want to work for him at all? No.
Doing media relations, but from Pennsylvania. I never made it to Minnesota.
Okay. Listen, it's cold in Minnesota. You
Very
know
much
that?
so.
Not that it isn't cold in Philadelphia, as you know.
But I wasn't even prepared for Philadelphia. My sister
weren't?
took the clothing. I lived in Florida.
All right.
And it was just horrible. Absolutely horrible. Because I wore heels. I wasn't accustomed to wearing boots, snow jackets and all of that. None of that stuff. It was bad.
Well, I'm from here originally, moved all over the place, and moved to Florida. Wasn't used to all the stuff in Florida, like the bugs.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, and the different things that, the heat and the, I mean, we have humidity here, but it was so different. But I always, and you probably did too, you always find something in that area that you grow accustomed to. Don't you have haunts that you go to?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
What are your favorite haunts restaurant-wise?
Paris. would be my
Paris, okay. You didn't say United States, you said Paris. Okay, we'll go there.
No, but that's
Okay.
the name of the restaurant. It's
Oh,
called
Paris?
Yeah, but it reminds you.
Paris.
Yeah, it's called
Okay.
Paris.
So what happens at Paris?
It's because I know
The owner,
Yeah.
right, and the chefs.
Yeah.
And, the nice thing about doing what I do
Mm-hmm.
in my world of chefing and all that kind of stuff that we do with the cooking show, I get to meet exciting chefs. That's exciting to me.
It is.
And it's funny how they are.
Well, yeah, I agree with that. And most of them are always trying to give me cooking lessons. You know.
Real, well, because you
'Cause I don't
like
cook.
to cook, or you don't cook.
No, I don't cook. I don't.
Do you have a chef that works for you?
I have somebody who prepares meals. I won't say he works for me because I can't afford him, so he's generous. I am his charity case. No, seriously, I am his charity
Your
case.
charity's case?
Yeah, he worked for the Four Seasons in Philadelphia. So,
Oh,
but
wow.
Peter is so nice to me, and they think I'm too skinny. So, but he doesn't cook for me every day. It's just 3 days out of the week. He'll make enough. For
Well,
me.
you know what's really funny is Patrick Gaynor, who's Chef Patrick Gaynor, who was on our cooking show, that's exactly what he does today.
Okay.
Is he brings his whole kitchen, not your kitchen,
Okay.
all of his spices, everything,
Mhm.
to your house and makes meals for the whole week for you. And extremely affordable.
Yeah, I'm
And
serious.
for seniors, even gives them a big discount.
Okay.
That's a good ad for you, Patrick. You know what I
That's
mean?
good.
It's true.
Yeah.
But I have to share this with you because this is really funny. When I moved to California, San Francisco Bay
Okay.
Area,
Mhm.
and I was tough looking for a job there. And I'll never forget working as a manager for McDonald's.
Oh my.
Oh, you remember that?
Mhm.
Anyhow, I smelled like a hamburger all the
Oh.
time. And so I decided finally I couldn't take it anymore. So I ended up working for a family. And after school, while I was still looking for a job, I took care of their son and I made meals for them. Well, here's the funny thing. They didn't want me to go. They wanted to pay me whatever I wanted to stay. And I wanted to be independent. I didn't want to have to do that. But they didn't like to cook. So they liked my cooking. So I can understand that.
I'm a cleaner. I like things to be neat, so I never had a problem with that. And my mother, she cooked every day. You know,
So you didn't get a chance to, and you were the baby of the family, right?
She cooked every day, and
Right.
I don't think we started trying to cook. Well, for me, until I was maybe like 15, 16, she used to.
You can boil water, though.
Yeah, I can boil water.
Make a sandwich.
I can.
Cereal in a bowl.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you watch my cooking show, you can pick up some tips.
I'm gonna get there.
I'm going to have you the next time when I come into Philadelphia or
Okay.
wherever, and if you have a kitchen, and we can do it there, I am going to, just like I taught the diva,
Okay.
P.N. Everson Price, we're going to do a cooking show.
Absolutely.
It's easy.
Yeah.
It's learning the tricks.
See, for me, I've just made it more difficult than what it needs to be. I know there's a science of cooking. There's science to cooking and knowing how to combine all the ingredients and
Blend.
all that stuff. That was not me. So now that discouraged me.
But our parents were, your mother probably, was a pinch of this, a pinch of that, and
Yeah, I could
whatever.
never figure that
My
stuff out.
mother was too.
How do you figure that out,
Well,
though?
guess what?
Okay.
I couldn't cook without cooking for a crowd.
I
Cook
understand.
for two people. It's totally different.
Mm-hmm.
We used to have gallons of stuff left. Seriously. And, it was okay, but when I married my sweet husband, we had two little kids and then a third one, and it got easier and easier over the years, but I like things that are delicious but easy to make as well, right?
I agree.
Okay.
I pull up my seat at the table often.
So anyhow, but probably what was the most exciting thing that you ever did in the media?
My company was given the contract by Comcast Network for the 2008 presidential
Election?
And we also did the Democratic convention in Philadelphia. So I got a chance to be one of the producers for the entire week to cover that because Philadelphia hosted.
Right.
And what was most exciting for me was I got a chance to create a platform for children. On the Tuesday night that Hillary spoke, I got children. I said, you know what? This is not happening anywhere in America. And they need to know they have a voice. And I don't know where this little boy came from, but he was my Poindexter with a trench coat and a briefcase.
Oh, wow.
But he knew every state that had to be won in order for someone to be president. I was so proud. The producers at the network, they were so proud. The host, Lynn Doyle, who gave me the opportunity, she kept asking, where did you find this kid? I said, I don't know. I said, I just put out a call to different friends. I said, give me your brightest children.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had Jewish children, Hispanic, Black, and Caucasian. I just wanted them to have a voice. And it was the most memorable moment for me that I've had in media.
Right.
Yeah.
I got to cover the Republican
Oh, did you?
convention.
Okay.
I got to interview a lot of the delegates
Mm-hmm.
on our radio shows, and that was exciting to me. I got to meet, well, I actually belong to the American Auxiliary of the American Legion,
Mm-hmm.
so it was held here in Cincinnati, their conference,
Mm-hmm.
and both Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton came here.
Mm-hmm.
I got to interview the head of the housing, and I got to interview the health and wellness, and that was exciting to me. I got to meet so many veterans and so many different delegates from the American Legion, and I got to meet the head of the VA
Mhm.
and research.
Mhm.
I mean, that was the most exciting thing for me, to be there during that period of time.
I can appreciate that, Kathryn, because I can tell you when George W. Bush was bidding for his second term, we got an opportunity to interview with Ted Koppel. Now, somebody referred me, and I got a phone call. I didn't know the gentleman at the time. He says, my name is so-and-so. He says, I've heard a lot about you. He says, I want to give you an opportunity. We're working on a DVD that's pertaining to the role of faith in politics. And someone
Right.
told me I should call you.
Right?
He says, so the interview is going to be with Ted Koppel on Nightline.
Oh,
He's-
wow.
And this is what the gentleman said to me. He says, don't let me down. And he hung up the phone.
That would be scary.
Yeah.
And on that note, we need to take a short
Sure,
break.
sure.
Would you give your website, please?
Sure. You can reach me at hollismedia.net. That's hollismedia.net.
And we'll be right back, right after these important messages. We're back on Kathryn Raaker's show.
Just say we're
Oh,
back.
we're back. We're back.
Just say we're back.
Okay, we're back with Janice Hollis, Dr. Janice Hollis, and we were talking about Ted Koppel, Nightline, and was that during the George Bush?
The second bid for
This,
Mhm.
right.
For
So
election.
let's talk about that a little bit. What was that like when the guy hung the phone up on you and said you better do it right?
Yeah, he says, don't let me down. And I thought, wow, that's a lot of pressure. And I thought of doing the interview myself, then I said, I'm going to miss something and I'm going to let somebody down. So what I did was I reached out to my colleagues. I pulled somebody from the military in
Oh, that's
because they had a
smart.
view. I had a bishop to come in because we're talking about the role of faith in politics. I got a Democrat, a Republican, and an independent, and I brought a school teacher in.
Wow.
Yeah, so everybody had an opinion, and that made up the show, which they used in the DVD that they sent out to the voters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was good.
Well, it was a time where faith was really being challenged in the political arena. People who said they believed or even spoke about Jesus Christ, and I think this is the time when George W. Bush had said, I'm a believer in Jesus Christ, and everybody was up in arms about this. So they wanted to have the perspective of people. Should faith play a role in politics, or should faith be separate from a person running for office? So this was the context of that.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about that today?
your faith rules every decision that you
That you
make.
make.
But if you're a believer or non-believer, is what you believe is you're integrating that in whatever you do.
Right.
And I think it's a farce that when people say your faith shouldn't be a part of politics,
Our nation was founded on it.
we wouldn't be here.
We wouldn't be here if it
Right.
wouldn't have been for our forefathers,
Right. Right.
And you should be able to stand up for your faith.
You should.
I think it's hard being a Christian today.
Oh, it's very hard. I sit with a group of people. There are 3 Republicans in my coffee cluster, and the rest are Democrats, and then whatever.
Do they talk to each other?
We all talk to each other, and
That's
we
good.
and we fight like family.
That's good.
Yeah, we fight.
Right.
But I showed you a small video of the dinner.
Yes.
That's my group. That's
So how often do you go out?
normally maybe 3 times a month because we have guys who own restaurants, so it's easier
Well,
for us
it's
to go
really
out.
easy that
Yeah,
way.
to go out together. But we don't get along. And when I come in, it's like, oh, you know.
Janice is here.
Yeah,
Is that it? We have to behave.
sometimes. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And I noticed that they were older and younger and everything. They were
Absolutely.
different
Oh, yeah.
generations. Isn't that
Absolutely.
exciting?
I think the youngest person we have in our group is 32.
That's young. That's a
32
millennial,
to 76.
right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting to have, and you know, the group that we put together while you were here,
Mhm.
there were different ages as well.
That's exactly right.
Everything in different religions, different races. It's wonderful to have that opinion. And my niece is only 32, 33, I think. I think she is. I'm not sure. Maybe she's 35. Who knows? So, but she's really good at what she does. And she really contributes a lot, especially in the social networking world.
See, it's important to have people who are smart and who are in tune.
And what I love about her, she engages people. You wouldn't think she looks like she's really shy, but when you get to know her, when she's doing certain things, she engages you.
And that's good, you know, because she would always be underestimated in that regard, but she can always be a great voice
Right.
for the voiceless. And I think this is what I've been blessed to do in many regards, working in the political arena. I've testified before Senate committees, both nationally as well as in the state, on a number of wedge issues, and I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of that. I've been criticized a lot. Being a black conservative, I just find that is even harder to participate because people automatically assume that you are whatever. And I've just learned, I told you before, the senator taught me a great lesson. I earned my power, I spend my power, I spend my collateral. My voice is a voice that I'm going to use because it was given to me. And the platform that I've been blessed to have, I earned it. No one came and said, I'm just going to place you here. No, it was through many transitions, many years of development. And I'm proud about all of the hardships that I had to go through because I was swimming with some very big sharks.
Right. And you are swimming with sharks sometimes.
They're there.
They're there. Working in a man's world.
Very much so.
It's very challenging. Before I met my husband, I was working in the financial world with no women represented in the automobile field and financial field. And I'll never forget going to my first customer in a white suit. It was Amco Transmissions.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh. And I won the account. And my boss was an old bachelor who never believed in letting you, he's gone now, he's not with us anymore. But the funny part of he wouldn't let me travel, even though I'd have to drive so far because he was an overprotective boss. Because I knew I had 2 children and he didn't want anything to happen to me.
Yeah.
So, you know, those kind of things. But in that profession, I met my second husband, which was really good. You know, there was a reason I was going to be doing that, right?
I agree. I absolutely agree. But, you know, it's the takeaways, what you
Right.
learn as a result of your journey. And for me, I have some of the fondest memories fighting for things. I didn't always get my way, but I didn't quit. And that's important, is that you don't quit.
That's right. I mean, it takes experience, maturity, mentorship.
Oh, very much so.
If you don't have that, then you may not succeed because you need to listen. You need to listen to your elders and people that are mature enough in every field. Would you agree?
Oh, I absolutely agree. I can tell you this. A pivotal moment was when I was in a boutique and I heard a woman talking about, oh, I got this client from Ohio and I got to book him on a radio show or something before I leave Philadelphia and I don't have anything lined up for him. I just happened to turn around and say, well, who's your client? And she told me, I said, well, I have a radio talk program here. I said, what does he do? What does he talk about? She says, oh, he does everything. You're going to like him. Before I can reach out to the gentleman, he had already booked his ticket to fly to Philadelphia.
Whoa.
And Dr. Lonnie Simon became my mentor.
Wow.
He was 80 years of age.
And I love that maturity. One of my friends who passed away, whose name was Martin Sadelman, he was the president of the International U.S. Shoe Company.
Oh, wow.
And he was so gracious. He really wanted to mentor that side of me for international work, that he opened up the doors of his world to me that were so exciting. And those type of people I love because they really give you.
Oh yeah, when they see that you can appreciate what they're offering, they open up their worlds to you. And I'll never forget the lessons that he taught me. He says, listen, I want you to be perfect at what you're doing. Have a perfection about you and what you represent. He says, you don't know where God is going to take you. And I used to say certain things on the radio program. He said, no. You don't know where God is going to take you. You don't know where you're going to end up. He says, so be your best. Be your best.
You never know what's going to happen.
You don't. I mean, look at where I am now with you. And that by itself is
right. It's really funny. I've had some very famous people on my show, but I'm so proud to have you today. This has been
my blessing.
Such an honor, and what we just a short amount of time left. I want you to summarize what you want for the future, and what your goals and ambitions are.
To be a greater influence, and just to be a voice of reason, number one, and to be a global presence, to always speak truth to power, and the next thing is to create a platform for the next generation, because there are some things they're not going to figure out because of the way things are. So somebody's got to be that voice to talk about the past, where we are, and where we can go. So you have to have that, the past, the present, and then the future. So there has to be a consciousness, if you will. And I would like to be that voice, in media, because that's what rules.
I love the idea of having my own programming, because I don't have to adhere.
Exactly.
And I tell not fake news, but real news.
That's exactly right.
And having people on like yourself makes it easy.
Thank you, Kathryn.
And I'm so excited for you and the new ventures that we're working on together. And I think that's important. I think that we can do so much for the next generation.
Absolutely.
Like my granddaughter. I want her, who's 8 years old, to aspire to be something. She could be president someday.
Exactly. You don't put limitations there.
Don't put limitations on them.
Right.
And I think make them proud. Help them out. Teach them how to cook, which she does.
Or get a chef.
Yes, right. She actually, her first thing that she learned how to do was to make chicken soup.
That's
True?
precious.
It is precious. She loves chicken soup, right? So, or to do something that's really fun. She's into DIY. She's into all kinds of stuff. And that's what's so exciting about who they can be. I want to thank you so much for joining me today on our show. I want to offer an opportunity to keep on coming back because you're exciting. Let's face it. And let's make new opportunities for everyone.
Absolutely.
Right?
Create the narrative.
And thank you for joining me. It's been such a pleasure.
Thank you.
bless you for doing it. What's your website again for people?
Sure. You can reach me at hollismedianet. That's hollismedia.net.
And we'll be back next time on Kathryn Raaker's World.